Hey, it's Natasha.
And Khalil.
And we are the co-hosts of
WokeNFree.
Thank you for tuning in to our 152nd episode of WokeNFree. If you've been tuning in every week for WokeNFree Wednesday, you know that WokeNFree is all about being real and honest with each other and you. We talk about everything and anything important to us, you, the world, and nothing is off the table. This week, we are discussing whether people have healthy mindsets when it comes to goals.
Score.
Exactly. Before we dive deep, though, on the subject, it's your favorite time of the day. What time of the day is that, Khalil?
Touchdown?
Maybe. In this context,
that's what people want.
Tasha's monologue.
Oh, okay.
Which maybe could
it's
be
same
considered,
thing, right?
Same difference.
That's your touchdown dance.
Exactly.
It's in a song form.
Exactly. Perfecto. So, first and foremost, if you have gone to WokeNFree.com and you have downloaded the episode through the Podbeam app, you are freaking amazing. Why? Because that is ultimate support and love for the show. But then also, that's how you're able to join the conversation. If you download the episode, then you can add your comments and thoughts, and you can be like, guys, totally way off, or yes, queen, or anywhere in between that. But you've got to be able to download the episode to do that. So make sure you do that. Now, if you're listening to the show on another platform because you're like, nope, not doing it on Podbean, that's okay. Just make sure you're liking and subscribe to the show on whatever platforms you're catching that on. So if you go to WokeNFree.com and you go on the listen tab, that's where you can see where the show is at. And it's like, I don't know, maybe 30 different places you can access the show. So please make sure that if you can't do it on the Podbean app or you're not doing it on WokeNFree.com, that you're doing it on iTunes or Stitcher or Google Play or iHeartRadio or Spotify. Wherever you're doing it, subscribe. Make sure you follow the conversation every Wednesday there. Now, when it comes to sharing, things are always better when you share things that you love with your friends and family. Absent COVID-19, bigotry, racism, some of those things. So absent that, what would be something you should share? WokeNFree.com. Share the episode out. Y'all are our biggest and bestest fans and best ambassadors. So make sure you do that. Now, when it comes to social media, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, and Pinterest at WokeNFree. And guys, there's so much fun to be had on social media. Please join the conversation on each of those platforms. You know who is posting all the time. So it's so much fun.
That's good to know.
Okay, I was about to say, you have nothing to say? Good Lord. And then, of course, if you have like 90 seconds, which, I mean, it's COVID-19, who doesn't? You at least have 19 seconds. But really, 90 seconds would be ideal so that you can pick your platform of choice to review the show at. And so, for instance, iTunes, 5-star reviews. Thank you. We're just joking, maybe. I don't know. No.
Whatever you think it deserves.
5-star reviews. Yep. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Exactly. So give us your honest reviews and your feedback, because that's how we're able to identify how the show is feeding into you. And we want to make sure that this is a joy for you every single week. And with that, scene end.
Good job.
I try.
Each week, we like to share a little bit about us before we dive into the topic for the episode. Last time we asked, which June-born musician's music do you prefer, Paul McCartney or Prince? This week, we're asking, which insect doesn't bug you at all, ladybug or a butterfly?
Seriously, Khalil?
It's definitely a good question. No, because this, you got to think about it. Why not ask
which butt cheek do you prefer more, the right or the left?
No, see, that one doesn't give any insight into someone's personality, but this does. The cheeks don't matter. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, speak for yourself.
But you can tell a lot about a person.
You want me to answer every freaking time we do this? Neither.
You gotta choose one. Come on.
No, I choose neither.
Your answer says a lot.
All bugs are enemy number one for me. That's where I stand. They're public enemy number one. If you absolutely want me to choose, then I guess I would choose the butterfly. But I do not like insects. Do not talk to me about insects. Do not give me insects. How about you, mi amor?
I would have to go with the ladybugs. because everybody knows that ladybugs bring good luck. So that's the one you should go with too. Yeah, if you see one land on you, it's like good luck. Butterflies don't have anything associated with them. That's the thing.
But I do have some jewelry with butterflies because I do like the wing situation, but I only like it as jewelry, not like actual existing insects.
Okay. I mean,
we're
talking about the actual insect, I think, for this question. So you can't be angry if they fly near you. You get happy.
Ugh.
And if
Public enemy number one.
And if they land on you, then you're okay.
Filth.
If a ladybug lands on you, now
Scream
you know you're lucky.
It's like that TikTok video where you just see the music, and the person just turns and says, "Run."
Oh yeah, yeah, that's good.
That's my response to bugs. Literally, I hope they all fall off the planet.
All of them, wow.
Yeah, I would live in an insect-free world any day. Please, that would be a blessing.
I mean, that's not great how you feel about the bugs, but hopefully,
I know.
Hopefully you have...
You know why? It's because of my context, right? So I flare up when I get bit by either a mosquito or an ant. I have a horrible reaction, and so it's
not all bugs bite.
Yes, but it's just too painful, and it's too scary to not know what does and what doesn't, so how about none? Let's just eliminate, but we digress.
Yeah. You know, these bugs might be bugging you, but do people have healthy mindsets when it comes to goals?
Yes, I definitely think that that's possible. So if you're new to the show and you don't know how we roll with things, all content that we talk about that has like links or resources you can easily find in the episode at WokeNFree.com. And so here I found some really good like psychological information from PositivePsychology.com. And so goals are defined by Latham and Locke as the object or aim of an action, for example, to attain a specific standard of proficiency, usually within a specified time limit. They are the level of competence that we wish to achieve and create a useful lens through which we assess our current performance. The article online goes on to say goal setting is the process by which we achieve these goals. The importance of goal setting process should not go unappreciated, and that every person's life depends on the process of choosing goals to pursue. If you remain passive, you are not going to thrive as a human being, which is super aggressive in connecting purpose and goals and like life, but very good to know. And then article continues to say, according to Locke and Latham, goal setting theory is based on the premise that conscious goals affect action and that conscious human behavior is purposeful and regulated by individual goals. Simply put, we must decide what is beneficial to our own welfare and set goals to achieve it. And then by the 1990s, the research into goal setting culminated in the theory of goal setting and task performance, in which there's 5 key principles for successful goal achievement. And those 5 principles include commitment, clarity, challenge, complexity, and feedback, which again, you can find all this information, the link to this at WokeNFree.com. And so do people ultimately...
It's all about goals then.
Yeah, like do people ultimately have healthy relationships, or can you have a healthy relationship? The answer is yes, but there's also, like the article continues to say, like for instance, within the workplace, pressure for immediate results with no attention to how they are attained can trigger the use of expedient and ultimately costly methods such as dishonesty and high pressure tactics in order to attain rapid results. So as with any management tool, goal setting works best when combined with good managerial judgment. So ultimately, yes, you can have a healthy relationship with goals, but if it becomes like overbearing or to the point where you are just so determined to achieve a goal regardless of how you get there, then that would be like an unhealthy relationship, because then you're, borrow, cheat, kill to just get something accomplished. And that's not a necessarily healthy approach to life, but it depends, I think, on the circumstance. It depends on the goal. It depends on the person. There's multiple factors there, but yes, in theory, I believe that you can have a healthy relationship with goals. And Itu, what do you think?
Certain people, when it comes to their goals, they definitely get really in their head about it, and they make sure that they're gonna, hit it regardless of what the barrier is. Mm-hmm. So it's it kind of depends on like how much you want that goal. Like if you really want it super badly, then you'll kind of like do anything to to get to it. And sometimes you'll make decisions that other people wouldn't agree with. Mm-hmm. So you may, you might hurt an individual just so you can make your goal happen. I think that's what people are on right now.
Yeah. I mean, I guess one could also say, like, and, I didn't necessarily share research around that, but it might be interesting to look into the topic a bit more, even on the connection between mindset, goal setting, and then also like mental health, right? Because like, what if you are predisposed to be obsessive in nature or have anxiety? Then I think that's going to also play a part in the type of mindset you have when it comes to goal setting. Because if you are an obsessive person, then goal setting is a good thing, but it also could drive you crazy, right? Or if you have a lot of anxiety, goal setting could be practically emotionally crippling for you, because it's like, oh gosh, what if I fail? What if, this fear of failure and fear of judgment and perception. So I think that there's probably a really interesting connection between mental health and your mindset and then goal setting.
Okay. Yeah, that's true.
Now,
you gotta consider that.
Yeah. Ultimately, when you want to have a positive or healthy mindset with your goals, what would you say you need to do to do that?
Well, for one, you got to actually make sure that your goal in mind isn't kind of like to harm people. Because I know some people have goals. It's like, I want to start this cult, and that's not actually beneficial. So hopefully your goal isn't, a crime against humanity.
An anarchist.
Yeah, hopefully it's not like a crime involved, or, there's no criminal activity, and it's not harming animals, people, or the planet. So that would be like the first step. The second step is the goal in hand. It should be a thing where if it doesn't happen, you can't like collapse. So it can't be something like, oh man, if this goal isn't achieved within this time frame, it completely destroys me. Because if it's one of those things, then I mean, you kind of take it as, no matter what, I'm going to do this goal, and I don't care if it kills me. I have to do this, because if I fail, I'm gone. So you gotta like know that this is your goal, but it may take time to happen. There's no time frame, and it's possible that maybe the goal passes. Like, what if your goal is to see this comet that comes around every 7,000 years?
Oh my gosh. That
just happened. I mean, it wasn't my goal, but I missed this. I missed seeing it with telescopes. So something like that. If that's my goal and I miss it, and it's like, I bet everything on that. And I said, if it doesn't happen, it's the end of me. Look, I would be gone. So you got to make sure your goal
doesn't decimate you.
Yeah. That's the thing to think about.
Nice.
And then, let's see, your goal should actually, I would hope your goal would make you kind of, just like the journey to the goal makes you feel good. So it's kind of like,
that's interesting.
Just being at the finish line, that's a goal, but the journey there is really what, would
like build. Said, love the process more than the end goal, or the end achievement.
That should be kind of like what's like driving you and making you happy. It's like this process of working hard, and maybe I have to do some late nights. Maybe I got to give up some sleep, stuff like that. But just like knowing how to like push on and, kind of like thrive through under pressure that's a good thing to learn. So I think the goal at hand is not, that shouldn't be just the only thing, but like you said, the process should be something that you kind of like, you cherish and that you're willing to do.
And to speak on that, actually, I think the problem why people don't generally crave and or embrace the process is because as a society, we don't see the process. We only see the end goal, right? We only see the result, the person, the 20-year overnight success. We don't see the 20 years of struggle and crying and can I do this? And I lost my home and everyone left me. And like, we don't see that. We don't see the process. We only see the end. And so when people set goals out for themselves, it's a little bit troubling because you don't know what it takes to get to what you want, right? We all set goals for ourselves, small, medium, and large, and somewhere in between. And you can't even imagine what it's going to take to achieve it. But all you know is you want that end goal. And so it can drive you a little bit crazy. I mean, personally, definitely. I would say when trying to maintain a healthy mindset for goals, it comes down to the following. You definitely want to understand the why behind the goal, right? So when people say, I want to be an actress, why? Is there a fundamental reason that's going to help you stay grounded through every rejection, through people trying to disrespect you, through people trying to bring you down and get in your way, through the family judgment, through the abandoned friends? Like, your fundamental why has to ground you through it all. So I think that you have to have very good clarity on the why of what you want. Next, you have to be patient, which I have to say to myself every single day, because as you know, I am very impatient. And it's something that I've struggled with as a child. I'm working on it. I would say I'm much better now as an adult. But success is always a long game. It is not a short game. Any successful person has not gone on an interview and been like, you know what, guys, I did this in like 5 minutes. Nope. Try years of, I don't know, a little bit of luck, learning, executing, failing, picking back up. It's a long game. So there's that. Then also you have to be laser focused. And again, that's challenging because we are so tapped into the internet and social media and each other's worlds where it's hard to say focus on you when everything you do when it comes to like consuming media is the consumption of others, which then lends to that comparison game, which is always a losing proposition because everyone else's journey is separate from yours. And so you have to really kind of consume, but through like strategic lenses. It's like glasses that like block off, your own issues so that you can just see what's going on, but not like derail your own success. And then,
but when you say laser focused, you got to be careful because then you could technically be literally laser focused and everything else kind of goes to the side. Yeah. So that's why I think that's a balance.
It's
I don't know if you should be laser focused always because then literally, everything just comes to that and maybe other things.
So you focus on it in the sense that like, you don't get distracted in the sense that like it's
because not
it's
too
gray.
much.
It's like it's not a black and white. It's a focus because again, you can't do 25 things at once and expect all those to
don't
win.
Don't do
so
thousands.
You have to come in and say, okay, I'm going to do these 5 things for today. So and one of those have to be towards your goal, right? If you have a goal, you have to do something toward that goal every single day. Otherwise, you're not going to have success towards it. And so that's. But then again, you can't just do that, right? And not like feed your children or walk the dog or
you have
exercise.
Other
like there's
responsibilities,
multiple balls that you're juggling, essentially.
Yeah, you got to think about that.
It's interesting, guys. You have to also, I think, especially with having a healthy mindset for your goals, is believing in yourself and your ability to accomplish the goal. Because so many of us say we want X, Y, Z, but if you don't believe that you can actually do such things, then why should the world believe that you can do it? Nor why should they entertain you and what you're saying and whatever your message that you're putting out to the world. So it starts with like the win has to happen first in your mind. You have to see it, you have to visualize it, and then you can achieve it in real life. And then also, this is something that you and I have learned too much, I would say even more frequently than not, which is the not discussing of the goals with too many people because there's just too many haters, way too many haters, and people who are happy to tell you can't do it because they weren't able to achieve their own goals. So how dare you come up in their face and tell them that you're going to do X, Y, Z. So
they tell you all the ways it's impossible, but they don't realize there could just be one way that it works and you found it. Exactly. It's something like that.
I myself, especially, have been very guarded with what I'm working on because I don't feel the need to explain myself and my goals. Like, if other people want to talk about their goals, cool. I'm not opposed to that. But I personally, I'm kind of keeping it to the chest because there's just too many people who want you to fail. And you don't need to combat that energy unnecessarily. Just like, again, focus, do you just act, right? Sometimes we talk so much, we need to do more action. And then, of course, I mentioned it earlier, just the action plan. Cool, you have goals, but, if you want to keep a healthy mindset and actually have progress, what are you doing? What are you doing today? What are you doing tomorrow? What are you doing the next day?
You're now listening to WokeNFree.
WokeNFree.
WokeNFree. WokeNFree.
WokeNFree.
A podcast that gets real and honest.
What would you say people need to avoid when they set their goals?
Biggest things is definitely not the failure of believing in yourself is going to cripple you. You have to, again, believe in yourself because things are going to get tough, guys, right? It's really hard to be successful at anything. It's not easy. And you have to first, half the battle is just believing you can do this. If you can do that, then you can learn and you can connect and you can foster and grow and nourish yourself to where you need to be to get to that end goal. But you first have to start with that mindset, that belief in yourself. And then next, I would say what's really dangerous, and I didn't realize I was doing this as a kid, but as an adult, I've seen that as a coach. I've seen that as people in my career, which is you cannot hold the beliefs of others to be superior or above your own. Meaning, if other people don't think that's a good idea, or other people will say, I don't think this is going to work. Not necessarily thinking that your idea won't work or your goal won't work, but they're questioning the process. I think that that's a dangerous proposition to feed into that for yourself, because if you really want to do something, you've got to try it, right? Human beings learn through experience. We don't learn through just words, like people just telling us, oh, like how do kids know that the fire hurts? They burn themselves. Unfortunately, that's the human experience. So you have to go through it. You have to live the experience and the journey. And then you'll say, oh, okay, I learned this worked. This didn't work. But someone telling you it's not enough. Live your life and make the decisions. Don't go by what other people think the process should be for you. And then definitely not taking daily action. We both are working on multiple projects. When we don't work on it, what happens? It doesn't move forward. So definitely, you have to have daily action to have daily progress, essentially. And also lastly, I would say, don't let setbacks deter you from the ultimate goal, because you will stumble. There's goals that we set and we're like, oh, we're going to do this. And then 2 weeks pass and you're like, what happened? Don't let that be the end goal for yourself, or the result of, oh, well, I messed up these last 2 weeks means I can't achieve it. Nope. It just means you weren't prioritizing your time. You weren't taking the necessary steps to succeed. Keep moving forward. To the past 2 weeks, the past 2 days, past 2 minutes doesn't have to be a reflection of what's coming next. And you?
I think when I think of like this, the biggest thing with goal setting is, I think the goal that you set should be like your own goal. So it's kind of like when some people, they have a dream of like becoming some sort of occupation, like let's say a doctor, but usually, I mean, some people do actually, it's theirs, but sometimes it's just like, oh, that's Mom because your parents said, you should do this. And they're like, all right, that's my goal to do that. And I think your goals should kind of be your own. They shouldn't be something that you just picked up because somebody else said, or, some celebrity's doing it. So now that's your goal. Like that, those kind of things.
We live through representation though. That's why we do that.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think the goal should just be like, all right, it's their goal, so it's my goal. It should be something that kind of, there's something driving you towards that more than just seeing somebody else that was their goal, to have the latest Lamborghini. That should be your goal. Yeah. Because you're just doing that based off of somebody else. And it's kind of like it's like a jealousy. I don't know. I think it could just bring up the wrong kind of emotions when it comes to it.
The end of the journey.
Yeah, because you realize, what? I didn't really want to do this, but I just saw the other person did it, so I'm gonna have the same 100%.
Goal. So I'm absolutely right there with you on that.
I think you gotta be careful when you set your goal, and it wasn't your own goal. It was somebody else's.
I would say for me, like some of the accomplishments I've had in my life, it's because it was just something like. A lot of Caribbean people, they have children and their children are expected to be doctors or lawyers or teachers, otherwise fall off the planet. And so I definitely grew up thinking I had to be a professional because it's like, that's just what you did. But like, the reason I thought that is because I didn't know myself well enough. If I knew what really made me happy and what I really wanted to do, my career would definitely look a lot different. And that's why I've been able to explore new things, because the other projects, the other creative things I do are more reflective of who I am as a person. But at least maybe kids now have a little bit different, but when we were growing up, I don't think we had as much freedom to feel like to explore us.
Yeah, we didn't get to explore much. You just,
even
kind of got put into a box.
Like, look how different things are with like gender and how representation looks now. Like, it's just, things are so different. But when we were kids, people just, they gave you the box to live in and you just lived in it. Now, kids don't even have the box. They're just like free birds or butterflies doing
there's no box, so that's
incredible,
the thing.
Really.
Yeah, it's whatever you want, It's a lot more freedom than before.
Fantastic, actually.
Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario? It's scenario time, guys. Scenario 1. Ashok and Dante have been working for 3 years on a robotic waiter. Although they have made a lot of progress, their day jobs have cost them valuable time on finishing the project. Would it make sense for them to quit their jobs and be laser focused on their goal?
What? What are they working on?
A robotic waiter.
Is that a person?
It's a robot that serves food to you.
Oh, working on creating or developing. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Whoa.
Yeah, Okay. I don't know which way you were taking it.
I thought I
oh, okay.
Yeah. So, interesting. Why do they have this goal on wanting to create a robotic waiter?
Because too many times they've been in a restaurant and the food's taken long to come out even though the chef has finished cooking it. Mm-hmm. The robotic waiter would bring you the food as soon as it's ready.
Okay.
So it's a problem of theirs.
So they're developing it and they are developing it to create a business around it, or they're developing it to sell it? What are they trying to do here?
Well, they're developing it to hopefully make a business around it.
Okay.
That's the goal.
But the question is, should they quit their day jobs to finish this project or to see it through?
Or would that be detrimental?
It depends on their financial standing. If they can afford to just work on this invention without needing another stream of income or their day jobs, then have at it. If they currently don't feel financially comfortable doing that, then they're going to have to hustle. The hustle is real. Or Damon John was at Red Lobster for 6 years while he was building Fubo. So it is what it is. I think that's a decision that you have to make based on what expenses you have in your life. And if they can financially afford to just live their passion of doing this robotic waiter development process and business building, then cool. But if they can't, there's no shame in being able to have multiple streams of income. Most millionaires have between 8 and 20 streams of income. So I say probably without seeing their financials, that you probably should keep your job and work on this until the point where you don't need to. And you?
I'm in the same camp as you. Mm-hmm. I don't agree in that philosophy of just giving up a income stream. Because some people would say, yeah, you need to give that up, and if you really want to make this happen, that must be the only thing in your life. I mean, yeah, some people have excess money in the bank, so they could do that, but if you don't, I think you work that job and still make it happen. It might take longer, it might, but that is what it is. Like we were saying earlier, the process should be valued too. So
absolutely.
That's the thing. Scenario 2. Sukarno has not set a goal in 6 years because he doesn't know what goal to choose. Sukarno works in retail and is satisfied with his life. Do you think something is wrong with Sukarno because he has not set any goals recently?
That's really interesting, especially as like an overachieving Virgo, to ask me that question.
Man. No judgment.
Because it's challenging, right? Because every day I have new goals for myself in addition to like a list of 20 that I need to accomplish for the day. So the day is generally like stressful from the jump. I would say I don't think there's anything wrong with him not setting goals in the last 6 years. I would say, again, that fundamental question of why. Like, why? So, yay, I'm happy that he's found content in his life. There are too many people that struggle with happiness, self-included. I could not speak on that if that wasn't my own reality. But I would say that you can be happy and content and also set goals for yourself. So I would wonder if there was something that he was fearful about or scared or hesitant about. Like, why doesn't he want to set goals? And it doesn't have to be a business goal. It doesn't have to be any certain particular one associated with money or finance. It could just be like a relationship goal or a fitness goal. So that to me, it seems like there's something holding him back from wanting to set goals. So I'd want to know what that's about, but I wouldn't use the language, something wrong with him, because I think, like you said, judgment, right? Like, we live in a really judgmental world and we have to be a bit more compassionate to each other.
Okay.
And you?
That's funny because I was going to go the opposite way and say there is something wrong with the
Pleasant.
But after you said that, now it makes me feel like I'm being a big judge, though. But
obviously.
But the only thing is, I mean, maybe we could use different set of words, but
yeah,
I don't know. Like, I think I would just hope that Sukarno isn't depressed because I think sometimes, not having goals. I don't know if it's true, but it could be. It could lead to maybe you have a form of depression or something because it's kind of like how do we know you're not depressed? I mean, maybe if you're it's hard to say. You could be happy without goals. It might be possible, but I think even the Dalai Lama has goals. I mean, you can have goals. So just think about that. You can be very content with life, but you can still have goals. Like maybe you want the world to be less violent.
Yeah, there's always something to want.
So that's the only thing that really there's no goal in your head something, even if
the judgment is real.
It just seems like
you're
something's happening here.
You're whack.com.
It just makes me question a little bit. But I know there are people that literally don't have goals.
Yeah, they're like totally cool with it, man.
They're like, I just live life.
Yeah, they're just like,
I just live life. This is happening. I'm okay with it.
Trying to go surf, guys.
Like this is cool. Yeah, they just do stuff and it's like, I don't need goals. I just.
But if you have to think about it, right? Like even that, like I'm waking up, I'm gonna go shower. That's a goal, right? And so it's like, is he really not setting goals, or is he just not setting?
Well, not a conscious
future
goal.
bound or because it's like
subconscious.
I want to eat.
Just do it.
That's a goal.
It can be classified if you classify just wanting to do an action in the future.
Yeah, because it's like what I talked about before in that article of like how technically goals are defined. So yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, if you take that level of classification, then technically he's doing goals. He made it to work, right?
They might not be for his career or beyond.
Yeah. Scenario 3. Waymond is really serious about making his dreams of creating floating seafood restaurants across the 5 oceans come true. Anyone who threatens this is immediately booted to the ocean's deep, vast floor. Figuratively. After dating for months, he thinks he's found someone to be his one and only. The only problem is, he also found out that person is a reality star on a hip-hop based show. Should he still date this person, knowing that reality fame could stand in the way of his goals coming true?
Is this alluding to Kanye West and Kim Kardashian?
Well, of course, because he wants a floating seafood restaurant, and she's on a hip-hop based show, right? See? Exactly. You're going some different.
A little bit suspect.
You're definitely drawing some strange things.
The nature of what you're trying.
That's pretty funny. You're drawing some weird connections that can't even be there.
That's hilarious.
This is it's a reality star.
It's like a Cardi B.
Who you don't know any person like this Wayman here. You don't know that.
Well, that's definitely true.
Yeah, you don't.
Definitely. These are facts you speak, guy.
Yeah.
Wow. Zers Sue.
There's a lot to process
here. There is a lot to process right here. I mean, I'm still trying to get over the name, first and foremost.
Don't get stuck on that.
Secondly, I would say... Ultimately, listen, your goals are important. What you want out of this life is paramount, regardless of who's in your life. And you can never allow anyone or anything to stand in the way of what you truly want, because life is too short. We're only here for a blink of an eye, and then we're gone. And you want anyone in your circle, friend, partner, lover, whatever, to support that and to help prop you up and to feed into you in a way that you can achieve your dreams, so that when you close your eyes for the last moment of life, you feel satisfied in what you've done on this earth. I would say dating a reality star personality is going to be a bit challenging, because there's certain complexities that come with that world and with what that person's schedule is and the type of activities they do and the type of people that's going to be in their life. However, if the person can be honest and can be transparent with you as to like whether they're there to really be your boo, to really be your friend, to be your partner, whatever, and support you as you go on this mission of this crazy boat thing.
That's a good way to put it.
No judgment.
That's nice how you feel about that.
Whatever. There's shrimp and scallops everywhere, but okay.
No, this is a nice dream to have, to create the floating seafood restaurants. Imagine that.
I'm thinking of Ozark right now, so it's just like there's too many things going on in my mind.
Maybe there's other things,
but I would say, I don't think he should X out this person automatically. I think he needs to really measure what they're bringing to the table, right? Like, people do different things and have different careers, and it doesn't mean that they can't be a part of your life. It's just, you have to be honest, and you have to also, the wait and see concept is something that I'm definitely seeing with people, that like, people say a bunch of stuff, but like, watch and see how they work, right? People say they want to be there and they don't, and they're not there. They don't say anything and then they do show up. So you have to wait and see how things play out, which is, again, as someone who can be deeply impatient, very frustrating, but he's going to have to wait and see so that his boat thing goes on. How about you?
Yeah, I think it's very interesting to just like classify a goal as just a boat thing when it's actually very specific. I think that's very interesting that people can do that. That's the first.
I mean, listen, I'm here to make
point I want to
laugh,
make.
guys, right? Like, this is the levity of the day. So there you go.
And now, when it comes to Wayman, I think he should still continue to date the person because, well, it's this could be a hard question for a lot of people, but some people would say, if something stands a chance of ruining my dreams, I'm not going to even take a chance with it. But the problem here is that this is like, see, it's kind of like you can have goals, but relationship might be a goal as well. So you don't want to just throw that in the toilet. Yeah. So I think he should do both, because he's been dating for months and he thinks this person might be marriage material. So keep dating. And then you marry the person and you never know. Maybe it's slight, but what if the person gets out of the reality world and then there is no issue? Or what if it actually helps
That's what I would think. I would think it would help boost this. I would think it'd be a strategic partnership, to be honest.
It could boost it, but it could go either way though, technically.
It could.
It's a chance, but
50-50.
I think you should do it, because you never know. Maybe this was part of the goal coming true. It was like finding this person. This could be your like easy marketing, actually. Absolutely.
And then now you have entertainment for the show, the boat.
Yeah. Your soon to be spouse. Nice. Yeah. That's entertainment. Yeah. That's what you do for your boat thing.
What do you think you're here for?
To make floating seafood restaurants on the 5 oceans of the world.
To be my entertainment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not to create the floating seafood restaurants.
Yeah, do your boat thing, whatever. Sure.
Okay, you say so.
Oh, that's a good one, Khalil.
Yeah.
That's
you're
a
good
doozy
one.
boozy.
Yeah, you're a good one.
Thank you. Well, with that laughter, guys, it looks like we are at that time again. It's coming to the end of our 152nd episode of
Woke and Free.
That was not one for the bottom of the sea at all.
That was one made on the oceans, though. We made it while out at sea. It sounded like it. Khalil? That we're actually recording on the ocean at this moment.
In Arizona?
In our minds.
All right, Inception. All right.
In our minds, we're on a boat right now doing this recording.
Speak for yourself.
And that's why that sounded that way.
I'm in the plains of Africa.
Okay, if you say so. That's where the mighty lion roams, actually.
Okay, Mufasa.
I just had to bring that up because people think lion is the king of the jungle, but it's actually king of the plains.
Listen.
I know. Tiger is king of the jungles. Lion is king of the plains.
Everyone's king of something.
And orcas are the king of the seas.
And I'm the king of you. I mean, like, what are you saying here?
I know. I don't know where we're going here, but this is just what's come up.
It sounds like we're due for another Woken Free story time of madness.
Maybe.
That's what we're due for. But this episode was quite a conversation discussing whether people have a healthy mindset when it comes to the goals and their goal setting abilities. Now, will we leave you hanging for what our next episode will be about? Drum roll, please.
On our next episode, we will be discussing, is it worth buying and naming a star? Make sure you follow us on social media to follow along in the conversation, and make sure you tune in next week for Woken Free Wednesday to join the conversation at WokeNFree.com.
If you'd like to be a guest on the show or submit a topic regarding something you feel, please, you guys know what you need to do. Hit us up on our Contact Us page at WokenFree.com. So that is WokenFree.com. When it comes to social media, you can easily find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Pinterest, TikTok at Woken Free. And then, of course, collaborations are always welcome. Where do you go? It gets redundant, but I'll say it again. Contact us page at WokeNFree.com.
If you didn't already subscribe, please do, share the episode, and make sure you come back to join the conversation every Wednesday for Woke and Free Wednesdays. Remember, Woke and Free is more than a podcast, it is a way of life. Until next time.